Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin. It is Friday, which kind of crept up on me. It's the last couple of weeks of school, and the events that my kiddos have going on is pretty intense right now. And, I'm barely holding on, guys, but we can make it one more week, right? I'm already flashing the book. Fridays, we do not complain about our children's school. We talk about Fridays with Fred. Fridays with Fred is when we go through my progress on the project I'm making from this book. This book is Knitting the Neighborhood, the official knitting patterns of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I say we do this together because I want to make everything from this book. The order in which it gets done, I don't care. I have no preference. So, I have no plan. I nominate a bunch of patterns. You guys vote. You tell me which one you want to see me make next. And then you sit through the process of me doing it. Or you join me on the process of watching me do it. We are on our 5th pattern. And it is the Nurture Cardigan. No. Yes. The Nurture Cardigan. It wants to open to the Beginnings cardigan. That's the first one I did for my husband. I am doing Nurture for myself. Nope, not that one. Okay, here we go. Nurture Cardigan designed by Carla Patrick. Here's a lovely model and Mr. Rogers wearing it. Now, these are not the exact patterns that Nancy Rogers used. If you are in my Facebook group, I shared a reel that I saw on Instagram that was a little snippet of Mr. Rogers talking about his mother making the sweaters and showing a number of them. And he had this version, the green one with the cables, the one that I'm recreating right now. But anyway, these are recreation patterns. Carla Patrick looked at it and said, I can figure out how to reverse engineer that, and she did. And so I'm doing it. Mine is not green. Mine is lovely autumnal colors. And when last we spoke, I was still mired in 1x1 rib. I have finished the 1x1 rib. The swirly doodad is blocking the cable. So I finished the 1x1 rib and begun the sleeve in earnest. There's a cable detail that once I sew it together so it's an extra long cuff because it's meant to be folded over. And so this will then go up my arm and it continues up to the shoulder. This is a knit flat pattern that I will then have to sew together. So I am on the first of 2 sleeves, of course. I guess I could do 1 sleeve. And then there is a shawl collar that you knit separately and so on. So we are in the final stretch of this sweater. The larger pieces are done and each piece is only getting smaller. Well, I guess the sleeves are the same size as each other. But the shawl collar should only take me the 1 week to do. And I might even be able to make the shawl collar and start sewing it together. I don't know. Sewing together is, to me, the most annoying part of lay flat sweaters. I much prefer knit in the round sweaters, but I think, and maybe the older knitters amongst us can chime in here. In my experience, I've been knitting for far too long. I learned when I was 10 years old. And in my opinion, the majority of the sweater patterns when I was younger were lay flat and you sewed together. It wasn't until I was an adult that I really started coming across knitting the round sweaters. But surely they must have existed. I mean, steeking is such a like a classic technique. if you aren't familiar with knitting, steeking is a process where it's mostly done in color work. Fair Isle, I guess it's pretty a common thing. I don't know if I have a Fair Isle book handy. No, I don't. You do the pattern, but there's an area, like if it was a cardigan, maybe you do like a reinforced area down the center, and then you snip in a terrifying manner your knit, and then you could like add the zipper. Also, some of those color work yokes, it's knit almost like a poncho, I guess, with no armholes, and then you would steek out the armholes, which terrifies me as well. But it only works vertical because of how knitting unravels. You can't steek horizontally. Everything would release. But yeah, it's a cool process. I don't know why I'm talking about steeking. Oh, because I was talking about knitting in the round. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just the patterns that my grandmother preferred, because she taught me, and then I would get all of my patterns from her when I was younger. So it could just be confirmation bias. You know, that's what Grandma liked. So that's what Grandma got, and that's what Grandma showed me. Yeah, but I love, if you've been knitting for a while, what is your experience in the knit in the round versus knit flat patterns? I'm just curious. I don't know why that popped into my head. But, like, I have tons of books now, and it's pretty much a combination in the books that I have now versus lie flat versus knit in the round. Most of the patterns I find myself wanting to purchase are knit in the round. But, as you can see, I will not shy away from doing a lie flat, or a knit flat pattern. Erin's blabbering again. You guys could just yell at the screen. Erin, you're off on a tangent again. Get back on track. But that's really everything I have to tell you. I don't have much more to say. I guess I should move up my stitch marker. I'm going to move it though, because I've got all my stitch markers for the increase kind of piling on this side. So let's put the stitch marker for my progress over on this side where there's nothing really hanging out. So yeah, we do a series of increases. You do one increase 13 times, and then there's another grade of increases going into the shoulder, or the upper arm, and then you would decrease up at the shoulder. I tend to try not to read too far ahead in my patterns because I confuse myself and make things in my head more complicated than they are in reality. This sweater I am knitting using, let me pull out a skein here, Big Twist Party in the colorway Spiced Wine. Yes! Nearly done, and I finally stopped calling it mulled cider. So, it is a long discontinued yarn from Joann's. Of the yarns that ooh, is this made in Turkey? It is made in Turkey. So, of the yarns that Hirschner's may be reviving, of course, it seems like it's a good bet that Value. I really hope they bring back Living. I really like Party. That would be like a stretch goal yarn. If they could bring back Party, that would be pretty darn cool. But we'll see. We'll see. I feel like that one's been gone long enough and doesn't have quite the fan base that Value and Living have. I have hopes for Living. Posh. So many people are begging Hirschner's to bring back Posh. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? No one knows. Except maybe in the future, if you watch this video and you know, you'll know. Oh, Erin, stop being a weirdo. No, you love me because I'm a weirdo. That's why you show up. What's going on this weekend? It's Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, which means the kiddos will have a 3-day weekend, and then they have to go back to school for 4 more days. I question the wisdom of this schedule, but we do it. I am not on the school board, as you can tell. I'm just opinionated. I think as many parents are. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, weekend. What you can expect from me this weekend. I don't know. I'm going to try my darndest to do my weekly roundup because I missed it last week. And I've got a pile up of some things to share with you. Sunday, I believe you're going to be seeing something that Shannon and I did. Oh no. We might have to wait on what Shannon and I did because I have for a while had this bag of yarn from Mary Maxim sitting in here. Of course, I made the obligatory Bag-O-Day purchase of her new yarn. I haven't opened it. It's just been sitting there until I get to it. I'm excited. I love a good ombre. You guys know I love a good ombre, and people have been loving it. So I got one of each of all of the colors. What I'm going to do with it, I don't know. I'm hoping to make maybe one big blanket and incorporate all of that yarn into it, but I don't have a pattern picked out. I was talking to Brian, and we thought it would be pretty poetic if I picked a bod pattern to use the bod yarn on, and I'm sure a million people have that same idea. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet. I should do that, because that's been waiting the longest. I'll keep you in suspense. I bet you Shannon will show you. I need to shut up. That's what I need to do. Okay, so yeah, we'll look at the Bag-O-Day yarn. Monday should be a Yarn Management Monday video, which we're heading. We should be heading back to the cubes to look at it. I caused a bit of a avalanche trying to get out a yarn to do a project on, so I've got a big mess with the yarn wall. So I did not take my secondary allergy meds today. I'm so sorry. I need to. It's spring. I know I need to take it. How did that fall? Okay. It's a mess over there. I got to get the yarn from the prior Yarn Management Monday onto the wall, pull down it. So that's my hope. With the kiddos being off school, I don't know what's going to come to fruition or not, but I'll try my best. Hopefully I'll see you this weekend. Maybe if I pre-film the Bag-O-Day. Then we'd at least have Sunday taken care of, right? We'll see. I don't know. It's chaos. It's chaos. Love to you all. I'd love to know what you're working on. What are your plans for the weekend? And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.